On a daily basis, I get to speak to 30, 40, 50 of our nation's heroes, veterans, men and women who have served our country. They wrote a blank check to protect strangers. Then they go to try to protect their own loved ones. We go through their health issues. So if you're talking to the Vietnam era, you've got a lot of Agent Orange, the burn pit emphysema era, which would be the Iraqi, Saudi Arabia. We hear PTSD, obviously, a lot. Now, PTSD wasn't really diagnosed in the Vietnam era. For the post 9/11, Afghanistan, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Desert Storm, Desert Shield type men and women, PTSD is very prevalent. There's TBIs that we hear about, traumatic brain injuries, but there's one thing that I hear rarely, and it's very, very sad and unbelievable to think about, and that is an MST, military sexual trauma. So when you enlist and you go to the branch of your choice, there's probably a sense of pride, there's probably confusion, but at the same time, I'm going to a place where my brothers and sisters are here to fight for this country. You would never think that something like military sexual trauma goes on. Now, when I can hear people's voices that I talk to on a daily basis trying to help them, you should never have to worry about the guy to your left or the guy to your right, or if you're a female, you should definitely never have to worry about any type of male in your branch. On a daily basis, talking to that many vets, we hear a lot of stories. We educate veterans on benefits, private market, VA. A lot of times we have to talk about health. When we start to get into the PTSDs of the world, the traumatic brain injuries, these men and women have literally gone through hell. If they've seen battle, who can only imagine the things that they saw on a daily basis? I've talked to multiple veterans who have gone through military sexual trauma. You wonder what's happened in a person's life to make them essentially do something that heinous. It's amazing to see a woman go in there, but 1 in 3 women deal with some sort of MST, whether it be a grope, comments. MST is very prevalent. If it's something that is affecting people negatively and we can change the narrative and we can give people some insight to what is going on. I spoke with a client about a week ago who was sexually assaulted by 5 or 6 of his counterparts. Now, you should feel safe when you're in the military. You should feel like your brother or sister to your left or to your right has your back. Unfortunately, as much as we would love to think every single person in the military is a great person and every single veteran is a great person, at the end of the day, they're human beings. And there are a lot of effed up human beings out there. You gotta treat these women with respect. And if you're a man and you wanna assault another man, come on. There is a special place reserved next to Diablo himself for someone who does these types of things. Women and men are suffering when it comes to this. When I think of our military, I feel safe. What about the people who haven't come out? Someone who serves in our country shouldn't have more PTSD from being in the actual military itself than going overseas and fighting a battle. More PTSD because of what their own brother or sister did to them. In normal reality, tack on the fact that now you're in the military where everybody's got everybody's back. If I'm a woman and I go into the military, I actually think I would feel safe. I'd feel like, all right, I'm surrounded by people who are willing to die for our country. I'm good. Well, these sick Fs have a whole different mindset. It's a problem. Because I heard it in my client's voice, how freaking shook they were having that happen to them. The amount of shame this person has. Among vets, approximately 1 in 3 women and 1 in 50 men who utilize VA healthcare report experiencing MST during their service. Active duty service members, 29,000 active duty members reported unwanted sexual contact, marking a 19% decrease from nearly 36,000 in 2001. Underreporting. Despite these numbers, MST is significantly underreported, and that's why it keeps happening. That's why people get away with it. We have to say something. This is why I'm saying something. But that's effed up stuff, and that should never happen to a human being, especially going into the military. It shouldn't happen in general. The military's the military, right? You're going to like the biggest, baddest military on planet Earth. You gotta worry about getting touched or worse? Come on. How can it affect a veteran? Go back to PTSD. The person I talked to last week basically was like, I have more PTSD from what happened to me while I was actually like in boot camp. When I saw this person's head literally pop like a balloon about 10 feet from me from a sniper rifle. Your friend, someone who you've been serving with side by side, someone who you talk to and see every day. And you have more PTSD from the scumbag who cornered you. Something needs to change here. Something in our country needs to give. Depression, anxiety, substance abuse, all leading to the one huge word that begins with an S. That person, for the rest of their life, has to deal with what happened. The person who did it probably cares less. They're just going about their life like nothing is happening. Yet you might have driven someone to take their own life. Guys, if you like my content, please hit the like, hit the subscribe. Let me know what to do better. Let's get this information out there. My name is Mike DeSecco. I own a company named Timeless Protection, and we protect vets. We're just here to help people understand how to protect their families better with life insurance products. Reporting rates, only 1 in 4 service members report their sexual assault to authorities. A significant number of survivors face retaliation after reporting. 31% of men and 28% of women experiencing such consequences. In a place where the flag flies every day. Freedom, freedom, freedom. VA offers free, confidential treatment for MST-related conditions, including counseling, medical care, regardless of VA disability status. Every VA medical center has an MST coordinator to assist survivors in accessing services. Disability compensation. Survivors may be eligible for disability comp for conditions resulting from MST. Gee, thanks for $500 a month, even though someone touched me when I didn't want to be touched. Can't throw money at everything. Our VA system and our military system needs some work. If these people need help, they need services, therapy, you've got 90,000 jobs being cut at the VA. Service is going to drop. It's already bad. What is going on? Let's look at some conviction rates here. The lowest conviction rates, 2018, out of 5,805 unrestricted reports, 5,800 unrestricted reports of sexual assault. Guess how many cases? In your head right now, take a guess. 307. 307 proceeded to court, resulting in 108 convictions for non-consensual sex offenses, a conviction rate of approximately 1.9%. And they're declining. Declining convictions. Convictions for unrestricted sexual assaults have decreased by nearly 60% since 2015. In 2024, the U.S. military reported 8,195 sexual assaults. With all these different platforms and social media, ways to communicate, it's very hard to monitor what our children do and what we do as human beings. There's so much access to everything, and there's so many ways to do this and send that and talk here. There are a lot of creeps out there. 2024, the U.S. military reported 8,195 sexual assaults, nearly 4% decrease from the previous year, while court-martial charges declined. Conviction rates saw a modest improvement. Notable public cases. Major Michael Stockin, an Army doctor at Joint Base Lewis McCord. Stockin pleaded guilty to 41 counts of sexual abuse and indecent viewing involving male soldiers. He was sentenced to over 13 years in prison and dismissed from the Army. Should have gotten life. Major General James Grazioplin, a retired Army general. He was convicted of aggravated sexual battery for offenses against his daughter. He was demoted to second lieutenant. significantly reducing his retirement benefits. Lackland Air Force Base scandal. Between 2009 and 2012, 17 instructors were accused of offenses ranging from improper relationships to the R word, involving 43 female trainees. Staff Sergeant Lewis Walker was convicted of 28 counts and sentenced to 20 years. I want to shed light on things that we don't hear all the time. When it comes to the addiction, recovery, entrepreneur side, my other channel, that stuff's easy to talk about because I went through it, because I live it every day. I've never lived anything like this, but how do we pre-screen or stop? Nobody cares because nothing happens. So they just keep doing it. A woman should never feel freaked out or scared to go protect our damn country. No male should ever feel that way either. Approximately 76.1% of victims did not report sexual assault incidents in 2018. Retaliation among those who did report, 64% faced retaliation, including professional setbacks. This is like the military version of like the Me Too movement. How do we change? How do we do this? I love helping veterans. I love talking to vets. I love hearing their stories. And I definitely love saving them money. And I definitely love when their spouses have peace of mind and they have peace of mind that whatever money is coming out of their disability to pay for a certain product or service is the right product or service. Something needs to change here. Obviously, you have the VA. The VA has its own MST program. So if you're a male or a female vet out there right now, and this has happened to you, if you're not a vet or inactive military right now, it happens to you or has happened to you, you guys have to find resources for this. Protect Our Defenders, POD, National Watchdog and Advocacy Group, focused on ending sexual violence in the military. Service Women Actions Network, SWAN, dedicated to women veterans, including MST survivors, provides peer support, legal referrals, and policy advocacy. For all the men and women out there who have served this country, I love you guys. Thank you so much for your service. It's an honor and a privilege to talk to you on a daily basis. For all of the men and women who have had more PTSD happen to them from our own military, you deserve any and everything you want. The government should pay for everything for the rest of your life, and you should have never left with that type of memory or condition when you were going in thinking everyone here is going to have my back. That has to be traumatizing. Guys, have a blessed night. We appreciate you. Again, like, subscribe, follow. Let's go.